I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mar B, and you are listening to another episode of the Man Listen Show. Before we get started, let's hear a few words from our sponsors.
DD's Daiquiris is your #1 supplier of premium daiquiri mixes. You will love the taste of our classic margarita and signature strawberry mixes. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at DD's Daiquiris. DD is spelled D-E-E-D-E-E. You can also find us at www.dd'sdaiquiris.com. DD's Daiquiris, giving good vibes to good people, one good drink at a time.
Please buy the new book by Arika Nicole Moore, Diabolical Tales of Woe. Diabolical Tales of Woe is a thrilling collection of short horror stories that leave you in an excited trepidation to see what will happen next. Prepare to face one horrific encounter after the next in this captivating novel. You can find this book on Amazon in the Kindle and paperback version. That is Diabolical Tales of Woe by Arika Nicole Moore. Are you looking for a virtual assistant who can help you with your scheduling, travel, research, and expenses? Demi Virtual Solutions is the answer for you. Demi Virtual Solutions also provides mobile notary services. They will travel to take care of your needs. So if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and need a virtual assistant or are looking for mobile notary services, contact them at 469-522-9005, and you can find them on their website at demivirtualsolutions.com. That's DEMI virtualsolutions.com.
More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services offers individual and relationship counseling as well as mediation services to the community. At More Grace, healthy partnerships are valuable and beneficial. Please visit the website www.moregracecounseling.com for more information about our approach to counseling. More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services, where we offer more grace and more healing.
Are you in the state of Texas and looking for a knowledgeable loan advisor that will walk you through the process from application to closing? Well, then you need to contact Joe Byers at Trinity Oaks Mortgage. Trinity Oaks Mortgage offers FHA, VA, and conventional loans. They also have a first-time homebuyers program available. There is also down payment assistance available as well. Make sure you contact Joe Byers at Trinity Oaks Mortgage. You can reach Joe at 972-512-8990. Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can also subscribe to the show on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment, and make sure you share the show and use the hashtag ManListen. I'm your host, Mar B. Let's go ahead and bring the crew in. All right, so so we got a little technical difficulties. C's broadcasting from Mars, so she got a little red tip. We're gonna figure it out.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting some new equipment and it's making me look red.
Right. We're gonna figure it out. So Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all accounts last week. Everybody was holding their breath as when they announced that the verdict was coming in. It was pretty quick. The jury came back pretty quick with their decision. I just want to start out by, what were your thoughts? Like, what were your thoughts when you first received the text message that the jury came back and we were about to find out, whether he was innocent or guilty? Lab, what were your thoughts, man?
Well, being that it was pretty quick, I was pretty confident that it was going to be a conviction, because I knew they wouldn't come to an agreement that quick, unanimous, unless it was a conviction. So I figured if they had taken 2 days, then I would have been worried. But once it was that quick, I was like, all right, cool, But at the end of the day, it didn't make me, I don't know, it was kind of like a letdown still. I still didn't really get any gratification or satisfaction for, I was about to say satisfaction from the verdict. It it was kind of like whatever.
Yeah, the thing that I thought about was the what's our boy's name? I'm having a brain fart. The dude that needs to catch a dirt nap real quick, fast, in a hurry. Zimmerman.
George
Zimmerman
yeah.
was on trial. You and I, we was in Miami.
Yeah, I remember that night.
We was sitting down having dinner, and they had the trial on the TV. And when they came back not guilty, I just remember how I felt like, man, this is really effed up, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This boy killed that young man. He killed that child and he got off from it. And I never really recovered from that. So any of these cases that have come out, I always have in the pit of my stomach that I think something like that's going to happen again, because I just really can't believe how he got off. And it really bothers me that he's still walking the earth and flaunting his freedom like he does. But all that being said, I was nervous. And a lot of people said, well, they came back quick, so it must be guilty. I really don't have no knowledge of legal proceedings, so I didn't know quick was good or not. You know what I mean? But I was relieved when they found out when they said that he was guilty, because in my mind, Stevie Wonder could have saw that he was guilty. I mean, he killed that man with no regard, and I was like, okay, I'm happy, but it's not time to throw a pep rally. We got to get past the sentencing phase, and hopefully they give him the max sentence. So that's what I was thinking.
Same thing with me. I mean, I'm happy he was found guilty, but until we actually get through the sentencing, that's when it's time to celebrate. I think that I kind of have faith, though. It's kind of weird to say. I kind of have faith that he was going to be found guilty, though, because it was on video, and it was on video at a time where the whole world was kind of going through stuff. Everybody was at home, and because of the whole pandemic and everything. And so his, murder kind of changed the world a little bit. Like, you had people that were protesting and marching that you wouldn't have saw, at other previous police murders before that. So I think that they almost had no choice but to find him guilty.
Yeah, I mean, you make some good points with that. And, he did, unfortunately, his death did create several uprisings and sparked a lot of change. I think, Breonna Taylor happened around the same time, maybe shortly after. And I think she gets kind of overlooked, her murder by a lot of people. I know a lot of us, who are down for the struggle. We kept her name alive, and we still do. But it's like never ceasing, though, because, that same week, Dante Wright was killed by the police. He was trying to evade. They shot him. So while some people were trying to celebrate, the conviction, and I kind of understand that. It was like maybe in less than an hour, we got news of another police killing in Columbus, Ohio. A young girl, she wasn't a woman, a young girl named Ma'Khia Bryant. And I've been kind of protecting my peace lately. Not even kind of. I have been protecting my peace lately and not watching a lot of these videos. But for some reason, I wanted to watch this video because people were saying that she had a weapon. And I looked at the video and it was just chaos. But the one thing that you can see was that, in my personal opinion, the officer who shot Ma'Khia Bryant, he did not have to shoot her, in my personal opinion. It wasn't necessary. You can kind of even see the other police officers when he shot her. They looked at him like, damn, like, why you do that? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just really disappointed with the black people who keep saying like, oh, this is a justified, police shooting. My personal opinion is not. It's not at all. I know a lot of people are debating on that, but to me, it's not a debate. I think we've gotten to a place where you know, if we get into a place where we can't even stand up for young women like Ma'Khia Bryant, we really are in trouble. So I don't know. Us three, we haven't talked about it. So I don't know if y'all agree with me or not, but I just don't think that was a justified shooting at all.
No, I mean, I think you nailed it though. I'm gonna go back a little bit. I like the way you corrected that when you said she's a girl. Like I keep seeing so many things and I keep reading so many articles, and they always try to, anytime when it comes deals with black children, they try to make us older. And anytime it deals with anybody else, they try to make them younger. It could be like, way back, what's the one swimmer's name? He was like 29 or 30. And they were like, oh, he's just a kid. And then
Talking
here
about
she
the
is.
dude that got beat up down in Brazil or whatever.
Yeah, and then tried to
Ryan
lie
Lochte.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kept
They
trying
were
to
like,
say,
oh,
oh,
he's just being a kid. He's 30.
no, he's a grown man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a grown man. But yeah, she was 15. Not too many times am I gonna say that, it was justified shooting a 15-year-old. I did not watch the video. I refused to watch the video, but I saw enough pictures and enough still shots. And I saw a little bit of a video. Somebody had played like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds of it where it showed the officer running in. So he didn't even like run in and try to get control of the situation. He just kind of went in and was trying to break up a fight. And then they, I guess he pulled out the gun and shot it in. Again, I haven't watched. The person I saw deliberately didn't want people to watch the video. So they kind of broke it down into pictures and stuff like that. And like you said, I don't watch the videos. I feel like, it's just a public, execution. Like they keep wanting us to see them shooting us. And I just don't like it. It kind of reminds me of back in the day when they would have like those public lynchings and stuff. So I haven't watched the video, but I did read enough to know that like, the system failed her. She was 15, bouncing in and out of foster cares. The foster mom that she had currently, if that's what you want to call her, foster mom, supposedly couldn't get her to clean the room or clean the house. So she calls other, children who were children at the time, adult women, over to help her discipline these kids when, she could have went back to the social worker. They have steps to do. Like you don't call other people and then they're trying to, incite violence, trying to have her come out and fight and things like that. So I think the system failed her long before that point to where she ended up getting murdered.
I'm a piggyback on both what both of you guys said. I agree 100% that they always cast the black child as a menacing figure. Like you said, this cop just ran in. It reminds you of Tamir Rice, also in Ohio, 12-year-old boy. I mean, they pulled up and shot on sight, and it's similar to the situation with Ma'Khia Bryant. It does. It gets so repetitive. It gets draining emotionally to watch the videos. And I like both of you guys. I try not to. I saw a couple still photos and things like that. And I saw a lot of talk on the internet, on Twitter specifically. People were like, you mean to tell me he had to shoot her? I work in a school. We deal with these kids that have knives and everything every single day, and never once has a security guard or a teacher or a social worker killed a kid behind that in a school.
I'm like, what do they do in prisons? I know they got
right.
stuff.
Exactly.
They don't have guns in jail, so you got to you can't tell me that you haven't been taught how to disarm somebody.
Exactly.
And it's not like she was coming at him.
Exactly.
She was going at another person. Now I can see how you were saying, well, okay, well, what about protecting? Somebody said, well, what about the other black lives that he protected? She had a steak knife. She had
right.
You tased her. You could have rushed in. You could have fired. I don't know how they're trained. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
if they're trained like, okay, you could have shot her in the leg. You could have did any other thing. And he shot her, boom, 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 like in the chest. Like, took her out. And it was just very uncalled for. It was disproportionate, and I'm just really disappointed in the black people who aren't, standing up for this young girl, man. We got to do better with protecting our black women and our black children. And this,
I'm gonna tell you,
is just disheartening. And I'll say, for me, you had all these sisters standing up for Dante Wright. You had all these sisters standing up for George Floyd. And the minute this young black girl gets killed, I saw a lot of black men talking about, oh, it was justified. Man, if I was a black woman, I wouldn't march for none of you suckers at all. I wouldn't even be mad at you if a black woman didn't want to do that, for real. Because like black men have been letting them down. And I didn't say that to get prop from anybody. That's just how I feel. Because I know if the roles were reversed, I would do the same thing.
You know, another thing, it doesn't really have to do with the black male, black female dynamic, but another thing, because Ma'Khia Bryant called police, the guy in Pennsylvania called police. It almost, I'm not calling the, I mean, we need to be more mindful of when we get police involved in our interactions in our neighborhood, because they're coming to your neighborhood, and no matter what, you're the enemy. It doesn't matter. You're the aggressor. You're the prey, as they say. You know, you're all of that to them. They're not to protect and serve you. They're to protect and serve everybody else, and that means taking you out so you can't harm in someone else, not even in your neighborhood, but just, you know. So we just got to be more conscious of that, for real too.
You know,
I said the same thing. I don't know who we have to learn to live amongst each other, because they're all calling the cops for help, and then they end up the ones murdered. Like, you're calling them for, you know, the guy that you're talking about, I guess supposedly a police officer had just given him a ride home. And then so he knew he wasn't threatening.
The same cop.
You know, same cop. And he mistook a cell phone for a gun. Well, so he said.
See, I didn't even read that story because I saw it and I was just like, you know what, I can't even deal with that, because when y'all talked about in Pennsylvania, I was thinking about the family who had called on their loved one who was having a mental health episode, and it ended up killing him. That happens a lot with us.
Yeah, that too.
Your family members having a mental health breakdown and you can't control them, and instead of them having, acute care, healthcare workers who are able to come out, they send the police, and the police, they shooting us. And, the thing that's tripped out about Ma'Khia Bryant, glad you brought up Tamir Rice, which I'm still angry about. And the one that really infuriates me was John Crawford. Y'all remember John Crawford was in Ohio too.
Sure was.
At Walmart with a BB gun, standing there, not minding his business. And this white dude called the police on him, lied on him, said he just pointed the gun at the kid. He just did this, that, and the other. And the whole time you can see him just sitting there on the phone. I think he was talking to his child's mother, holding the gun, not holding it like, carrying it like this, just holding it to his side. And they didn't come ask any questions. They just blew that man away. And Ohio is a stand your ground state.
Yeah.
It's a stand your ground state. So, like, if they protect themselves or they have a gun, you have the right, you're supposed to not just, okay, they got a gun, they're about to kill somebody. No, it's a stand your ground state. So it's just infuriating, man. I don't know what we're going to have to do to get our black brothers and sisters on one accord to where we can stand up to this, because this is just really sickening, the things that I'm hearing about, how this young girl was shot down.
Yeah, I know it's hard to, I can't understand it either, man. I don't even have the words to say. I just, it doesn't matter, man. A girl with a steak knife involved in a fight, they don't know. These girls might have been she might have been defending herself. Like you say, Ohio's a stand your ground law. Who knows?
That's the thing.
So
the police.
Right.
Exactly. And if you see it, y'all didn't see it, but like, apparently from the text message from her sister, this had been going on for a couple of days.
Uh-huh.
And, harassing this girl, and she finally got her father to show up. So if you look at the video, it's kind of chaotic, and you see a lot of adults there that probably should have been trying to break it up, but one of the adults that stand out is a man. And when you see Ma'Khia Bryant like rush one girl and knocks her down, there's a man who kicks the girl that she knocks down. And I was kind of like, hey, what's going on with that? Like, he kicked her and all that. So I'm assuming that was her father, because they said
a grown man was out there.
A grown man. So I'm assuming that was her father, because they were saying like she didn't really feel emboldened or protected enough to come out and protect herself until her dad got there. Now, all this is hearsay what other people are saying, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, there was adults there that probably could have tried to diffuse the situation. So she was let down by everybody. She was let down by the foster care system, let down by the foster mom. I don't know what happened with her parents, why her dad didn't have her instead of having her at a foster care facility. You know what I mean? It's just a bad situation for this young woman all the way around.
And that brings up another point that I'm sure people are saying, well, these adults, blame them. They shouldn't have been out there encouraging. They should have broke it up and all this. Regardless of all that, at the end of the day, this guy is paid to do a job. And that's the thing. Regardless of whatever happens beforehand, you should be not in a high, I mean, not saying you shouldn't have a heightened sense of awareness of when you're coming in, or adrenaline's not going to be rushing through your body. But at the same token, man, you're a professional. You literally have the power of life and death in your hands at all times. And you should be held accountable when you make a bad judgment, when you make a bad decision. There's plenty of people who, going back to the Dante Wright situation, she grabbed her gun by accident, quote unquote. There's plenty of people who are in jail right now who did something accidentally. They didn't mean to do something to somebody, but in the heat of the moment, they made a bad decision. And until we start holding these cops accountable for their bad decisions, instead of paying them to go away and go find a job somewhere else, and then settling with the family and the same people that you killed, or essentially paying out this the settlement to themselves in a sense, with the tax dollars that are being taken away that could go in their communities. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And the sad thing about Ma'Khia Bryant is, with everybody saying, "Oh, it was justified," this dude probably won't, receive any type of punishment or anything like that. And her family not gonna get any type of settlement for the loss of her life, which means Ben Crump ain't gonna be able to show up and get those dollars. What do y'all think about Ben Crump? I was talking about this with a bunch of people today. Got kind of heated. What do you think about Ben Crump?
Go ahead, laugh.
No, you know what? I'm just saying he was probably breathed the biggest sigh of relief for anybody with the Derek Chauvin verdict, man. Because he was running a record of like, whoo, he was going over there for a minute, representing these families. So, it's one of those deals where you grab somebody once they hit the spotlight, and it does draw attention. He does draw attention to a lot of cases and things like that. Now, his tactics and what he actually does, I don't know. I mean, I just think he's more of a someone to get publicity and to bring attention to different cases. And for that, I think you do need people like that around sometimes, because if you didn't have a Benjamin Crump, if it was just a random person in that community, hey, we might not know about it, but because we all know who Benjamin Crump is, when he says something, it brings a little more attention to it. So,
well, we still got Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? He like,
yeah, but he's not a lawyer. He's not a legal professional, and that makes a little difference as well.
Well, my thing about Crump, I want you to jump in, is so Crump's he's not a DA, he's not a prosecutor, so he can't get people convicted or anything like that. I think he does bring awareness to people's cases. I think that clearly he's figured out the process. You know what I mean? Because when you're in law, you know what I mean. And I wish our homegirl Rika was on here. When you're in law, you have certain fields that you excel in, and you start building connections, and you start learning the litigation and how to process it, and it becomes your kind of like your forte, your go-to. So that's clearly, the civil rights claims have really become something that's for him. He finds a way to work with like the local attorneys in the area. I mean, he was giddy as all get out. They had the press conference, and he was loud. He was calling people out, attorney so-and-so, attorney so-and-so. And Al Sharpton called Ben Crump the what do you call him? The DA for Black America, which I roll my eyes at. I don't have I think he has good intentions. I think that he does good for the family, but I also think that it is somewhat kind of self-serving as well. Kind of attention, because like, I don't know if y'all was watching it, but Biden called them right after the decision. He was talking to the legal team, and then when CNN was going over their shoulders, because they was all huddled up, CNN was over their shoulders, and they had Biden on speaker, And then when Crump saw that CNN was there, he hurried up and pulled his mask off. He hurried up and pulled his mask off so people could see his face. So I was just like, yeah, you know, it ain't all just about, you know, I'm doing what's right for the families. But I don't think he has ill intent or anything like that. But there's just some things that he does that kind of bothers me. You know, see, go ahead.
I mean, it's the same. I don't think he's really has like ill intent behind, like, you know, representing all these people and speaking out. But I just always, I mean, I was trying to articulate it in a tactful way, but I can't. People that just are attention getters get on my nerves. And so when he does too much to get attention, he just gets on my nerves. But I mean, I don't think he's a bad guy.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, he's not my favorite person either, but you need an attention getter sometimes. You need somebody like that on certain
But
cases.
not when they make it about them. I don't mind bringing awareness and attention, but just don't. I don't know. I feel like he tries to make it about him.
Like George Floyd probably maybe didn't need Ben Crump, right? Because the video was there. It was, you know, that was there. But a lot of these other people, like the guy in North Carolina now, Elizabeth, said they're not going to release the video to the public. So all you do need somebody to fight for you, or to spread awareness, to kind of bring pressure to the DA, to the local prosecutor, things like that, you know. So even if it's just to get charges, just because of the outrage locally, I mean, I think he does a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, Crump's not all bad. I mean, because there was a young guy in Georgia, Kendrick Johnson, and you know, his death was very suspicious, very, very suspicious. You know, they found his body in, you know, a wrestling mat at the school. And then when they did the autopsy, they found his body was stuffed with newspaper. It was just all bad. And we wouldn't have known about it had Crump had not brought it to attention. So like I said, he does some good stuff, man. But I do roll my eyes at some of his tactics, but I just really don't want to down a brother, because there's so many other black people who do things that harm us, that set us back. I don't think Ben Crump falls in that lineup. So I ain't gonna be too tough on him. But so, you know, but that leads me to talk about Biden. You know, they passed the Asian American Pacific Islander protection law, whatever, I don't know what it's called, you know, to be precise, but Congress passed that, you know, no problem. But we haven't received the protection that we need. I know that they're talking about passing the George Floyd law. The anti-lynching law still hasn't been put into effect. And, you know, I just got to kind of look at the Biden administration. You know, a lot of people try to say, well, it's Congress. But Biden is the one who's pushing agendas. You know, his people, the president sets the agenda. So I put it on him, because and even so, the Democrats have the majority, you know what I mean? And they have it because of us, you know, because if black people hadn't stood tall in Georgia, you wouldn't have the simple majority that you have, you know, where Kamala can cast that tie-breaking vote. So where's our protection? You know, they've been trying to get this anti-lynching law passed for years. You know, and like Dr. Umar said, the Asians dealt with some struggle for 1 year, and they got it passed like that.
Not even a whole year either.
Not even a whole year. They got it passed like that. So what's up with us?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like we said going into the election, like we said afterwards, we got to continue to put pressure, man. We got to be able to just hold them accountable. And I used to be like, man, I'm gonna have to vote Democrat, but at this point, man, you can't. They taking their vote for granted, straight up, man. Taking it for granted. And only thing I can say is, man, I said it before, I don't believe as constituted with the two-party system is ever going to benefit black people. It needs a total revolution of the whole political process in the United States.
Because really, we held hostage, you know, because like honestly, let's just keep it real. Trump was awful. He was awful. And another 4 years of him would have been bad. But
yeah.
the fact that we had to vote for the author of the crime bill that put so many black men in jail and act like it didn't matter to us. That's terrible. That's terrible. And we just like, yeah, I know. He's the one that wrote it. What he did to Anita Hill, all of that stuff, man. Some of the stuff he said in the past. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we are in a much better direction as a country under Biden than we are with Trump. For real. Like the vaccine rollout, different things. That just having like sound leadership, somebody who's sane in the Oval Office. I'll give him his props on that. But I still want what's due to me. We still ain't got that student loan money.
Nope. He said day one.
He still ain't got that student loan money. There's a lot of stuff he ain't come through with. And hey, look, we got to keep the pressure on. We got to keep it on. Just because you got your stimmy check don't mean that you let your foot up off the gas.
Man, yeah. Because we could talk about it till we're red in the face. It's
I laugh at that.
So I guess that means we need to stop talking about it. Because see, definitely.
But no, we could talk about it as long as we gonna go in and say, oh well, and just keep saying, oh well, maybe next time, then nothing's gonna change, man.
So what do you think? You wanted Trump to be in office? What else could we do? Come on, y'all.
Right.
Come on, y'all. We can be more intelligent than that. We're gonna go ahead and end the show. That was a good one, laugh. Make sure y'all follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at manlistenshow. Make sure you share the show and make sure you use the hashtag manlisten. Let everybody know about the blackest radio show in the internet. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Rika, what up?